Marky Worthington Podcast all day.
All day.
Dream by night.
Don't buy me a drink. Just give me $10.
Oh, dude, you look sweet. Yeah, you got a big beard, dude.
Go down to the strip club with your floppy disk and turn it into a hard drive.
Yeah, right. Thrown out by Big Tony.
We're here to name names and make people feel more ashamed for shit that they're not proud of.
Me and my best friend, Marky Worthington.
Whatever it is.
Hello and welcome to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. This is episode 138. With return guest, friend of the show, officially, Nick Starkey.
G'day, great to be here.
Yep, I did not edit that at all. It's so funny. When I first started doing podcasting, I came from like a community radio background. And just in case you didn't think it was community radio, I just thought I'd clear the air. You know, it wasn't at a professional level.
You weren't on 104.7?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Damn.
They're Josh and Marky.
Yeah, hey. It's not off the table.
I'd love
just
to
yet.
hear you introduce a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah. First, I'd need to know a Taylor Swift song. What's the...
Shake It Off.
Okay.
Just Shake It Off.
All right, well, welcome to Josh and Marky here in the morning, and we're about to start off your day with this lovely new hit. It's new at the moment. It's new for me. First time I've ever heard it. It's time for Taylor Swift. Take it off. Take it off. It's time for Taylor Swift. Take it off. No, see, there you go.
There you go. You would be fired on the first day.
First time, yeah. And Taylor Swift would probably never allow her music on the show again.
Yeah, she won't come to Canberra.
Yeah. Damn. All those shows she's done here.
Yeah.
Get
her at AIS Arena.
She's opening the new section at the Hyperdome. So I came from a radio thing, and their biggest thing when training you was like no dead air. So you had to, like, if you were editing your clips or whatever to put them in the show, you just needed them to have like some, not a lot of dead air. Like, obviously it still needed to sound natural, but I took it like so literally that my first ever show that I did a pilot and sent it to them, I ran it through an editing tool and cut out any audio that wasn't over like 1 decibel or whatever, like any potential dead air. I just told it to cut it out, and I was listening back to it literally only the other day, and it sounded like how you just introed yourself. You're like, good to be here, because there was just no stops, no pauses between the words.
Yeah.
It's so funny that they heard that, and then I got a 2-year fucking show on the radio. They're like, no dead air, this guy's good.
This guy's good. He sounds insane. But my God, can he talk?
Mind you, the spot was from like 10 till 12 on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's a lot of people tuning into community radio at that hour.
I used to headline the Thursday show.
Oh, wow.
Close it out. Oh, fuck. Hey, so good to have you on the show. We... second time on the show, as I mentioned, You're officially a friend of the show.
Fuck yeah, it's good to be invited back.
Good, yeah. See, anyone can get on once. Well, not anyone, but...
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor Swift, she probably wouldn't have come on once, but
And that's the problem with her.
Yeah.
Is that she doesn't respect these little things like this podcast.
I feel like if podcasting had a community radio level, this would be in it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the community radio of community podcasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, just with more expensive mics, it still costs the same. It's just the quality is. It's even like the worst part is this is the same level of like these are the geek out with the. Some people ask me the equipment. It's when I did the live podcast, there was a dude there that was like, "So what do you got on stage there, mate?" Like as if like guitarists, they're super excited. It's like, oh, he's got the Fender. Oh,
he's got a Stratocaster.
Strat. Yeah. Oh, it's like, oh, fuck, he's got a Strat and a hat. He's going to play some fucking blues. Ooh, you know those fucking guys? They think they're Mr. fucking cool.
That was me when I was 15.
Yeah, but they're doing it at like 64. And they're not as good as like the other dudes that are doing it. Like imagine 15-year-old talent in a 64-year-old dude that's just learned how to do it. That's the sad part. I've seen that.
Yeah.
They think they're fucking George Thorogood, but they're like... You know, like Towley from fucking...
Yeah.
They can play Smoke on the Water, that's it.
Have you seen that Lil Wayne guitar solo?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Just do a backing track, dude. Like, we won't hate you for
but
that.
if they just say it's avant-garde, no one will know. Because you can say anything's avant-garde and people will be like, oh, well, that's why I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
That's what I do all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this chicken is avant-garde and that's why it's raw.
Yeah, so like, I seen George Thorogood recently when we were chatting last time. You were chatting about how you like blues and
love
that
it.
sort of stuff. It's cool to see old school bands that were heavily influenced by the blues, because they might technically cast as rock or whatever, but they'll just have like a nice fucking solo in the middle or something like that that's very blues centric.
Yeah, there's a lot of great bands, like Dire Straits comes to mind immediately, like Sultans of Swing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many bands with bluesy. It just adds so much like texture to a song.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I had that with they played. George Thorogood was playing with ZZ Top. I went to Wollongong to watch it, and it was great. And ZZ Top, so George Thorogood and Billy Gibbons are both 75.
Wow.
And they fucking still put on a great show.
Wow.
Do you know that the signature move of ZZ Top where it used to be Dusty Hill, but the new bass guitarist and Billy would do the sync up on one side of the stage and just as they're playing together, move from stage left to stage right as they're playing together. They would sort of slowly move from left to right, in sync, but not the band in sync, but their guitaring was in sync.
Yeah.
And they would it was and they used it in a lot of their video clips and stuff. They still were doing the moves and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's not like he just was I'm just going to be stationary and play. So it was really cool. And there's another band blues, massive blues influence.
Yeah. Didn't they play with Hendrix? Have I made that up?
I don't know.
I might have made that up.
I know that actually for my metal podcast, I had Lemmy's personal assistant here in this room.
Yeah, wow.
He moved to Australia after Lemmy died because his wife was Australian, and he was chatting about how I think all the crazy stuff that they did, and it wasn't until after the interview that I worked out that apparently Lemmy used to roadie for Hendrix.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know how legit that is, but that's one of those things I'm like, fuck, if I'd have known that before the interview, I could have actually fucking asked him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. He was based in Britain, Hendrix.
Yeah.
Had, the Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell in his band.
Yeah.
They're fucking great. Two British guys. Just jamming.
Fuck,
I can't remember which one of them was the drummer. But in when the Rolling Stones had a concert and they were playing a Beatles song, they're like, let's create a super group.
Yeah.
And so they got Keith Richards on bass, they had Clapton on guitar, they had John Lennon singing, and then they got the drummer from Jimi Hendrix.
Fuck.
What a tune that was.
Dude, imagine seeing that for fuck all money.
Yeah. And then in the movie, because it's in one of their concert films, they're all... they play the song and then they pan to the crowd at the end and they're all wearing yellow raincoats.
Yeah.
Very surreal. I like it.
Yeah. I learned so much from watching those docos. Have you seen the one on the fucking Woodstock 99 and how much of a horror show that was?
I have not.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They fully interview some of the organisers of Woodstock 99 and over a 3-part series, uncover how much of a nightmare that gig was. Underprepared, riots. It ends in basically they burnt the fucking whole thing down and had to call in the military to get it all under wraps.
Yeah.
And it's fucking wild. And I tell you what, that doco came out just before Limp Bizkit toured Australia did the gigs in Australia for Soundwave a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was going to the Sydney Soundwave show and I didn't watch that doco on purpose because I was like, they blamed a lot of it on Fred Durst because one of the songs, if you know Limp Bizkit, there's those lyrics like "burn this motherfucker down," and they were saying that he was like egging them on, like planting the seed to do it.
Right.
And all the interviews, he was like, I was just singing the song. But, like, when you watch the footage, he was, like, full. Like, I wouldn't say that he was egging them on myself, but I could see why.
Very diplomatic of you.
Yeah. Well, this is, this is community podcasting. I still want to fully ruin my chances of 104. I might have ruined it with Taylor Swift, but I don't need to ruin it for 104. That's the peak of mikemanship in Canberra.
Yes.
I think I just invented a word, mikemanship.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's Mikeman shit. So yeah, it was interesting. I learned a lot from those docos. So it's good to see what they're about. There's so much shit that you just wouldn't fucking like. You're talking about Woodstock. Like, imagine like if they did docos on all like Day on the Green. Imagine that as a doco, like the original lineups for those.
What's Day on the Green? Is this?
Oh, it's like kind of like a music festival in the States, which had similar lineups to like Woodstock and shit. They did it for multiple years. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was kind of, it ran for longer and it was more, it like sort of progressed into that like punk era as well.
Right.
Yeah, so it wasn't just all like, Woodstock era, but progressed into like more of the like rock and punk.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so there's, like I said, like you wouldn't have known about that, but if there was a doco on it, you might know more, yeah.
I've watched a couple of concert films the past month.
Yeah.
In the cinema.
Whoa.
2. I feel like that's a lot.
What have you seen?
I saw Pink Floyd live at Pompeii.
Okay.
That was elite.
Yeah.
Like just the acoustics and then...
Where at?
At Palace in New Acton.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. It was unreal.
Yeah, and what was the other one?
Björk.
Oh, yeah.
She did a concert film, Cornucopia.
Yeah.
And it was unlike any other concert film you'll ever see.
Whoa.
Because it's like crazy visuals.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the go. And her in insane costumes and all of these they look, I mean, they're computer, I hope I'm not wrong in saying they're computer-generated visuals.
Right.
But they look kind of synthetic in a cool way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hard trying to explain them, but I know nothing about visual art.
Yeah.
They're green. Some of them are red. Some of them are blue.
Whoa.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
That's all the colours of the light spectrum.
Exactly. But she played lots of great tracks. She played some of the old stuff, a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Technically, everything is like blue, red, and green. It's just variant amounts when it comes to light as to how much of each one.
Yeah, that's
so in
true.
saying those 3 colours, you actually covered every colour.
Yeah, I know. I'm a genius.
Yeah.
But it was a good concert. I didn't realize Björk was so horny.
Yeah.
Because the songs were mostly about like climate apocalypse.
Right.
And dystopian societies and utopian societies. And then she's just horny in all of them.
Fuck yeah.
She's just like, we need to fix climate change, and also I'm really horny. I'm fucking so psyched up for some sex right now. And you're like, all right, Björk.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That was great. I really enjoyed it. And those cinemas, it's underrated going to some of those special events that they put on.
I've never thought of that. Like going out to watch because I always just associate cinema with movies.
Yeah.
Not like as in traditional movies, not actually watching like a concert.
Yeah, they do. Dendy and Palace will put on in Canberra. They'll put on new concert films that are out.
Fuck yeah.
But they're only on like once.
Yeah.
So last year we went to see, or maybe the year before, we saw Willie Nelson.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was his 90th birthday concert, and then he's getting like every big name from what I would consider good country music.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's 2 genres of country music. There's like the older style, which is more traditional, a bit more folky.
Yeah.
Like your Willie Nelsons, your Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton kind of style.
Sure.
And then you get your Keith Urban.
Yeah.
And all of those. Luke Combs, I think, is
Sure.
another name that I've heard of.
What? Yeah.
But yeah, so they had all these
I know
old
Luke
musicians.
Combs. I've met him actually. Yeah.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
did
they
a gig at the Baso once.
I might be wrong, but I think he's like more Keith Urban-esque.
Dude, he was so fucking funny. Between each song, he was like telling little country stories. And at the end, he came up to the bar like to grab a drink.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you are so fucking funny. And he's just like, really? And I was just like, yeah, man. Like, and he's like, oh, you do the comedy because you've seen the poster.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you should do comedy. He's like, you know what, man? I've thought about it. I don't know why he had an American Southern accent. He didn't. But like, I just did impersonate.
No, it's a good added effect.
Yeah. But he did actually have like a real fucking country voice.
Yeah, wow.
He told this story about hitting a roo in his car.
Oh.
And the way he told it was so fucking funny because with that accent and just explaining the thing, he goes, he said something like, oh, I guess I'm not stealing his bit because he's like, it's not a comedian, right?
Yeah.
I'm so conscious of stealing his story.
Nah, go for it.
Okay, so I've already too far in anyway.
Yeah, I've enabled you.
So he goes, it was like, he had two standout ones. One was he's talking about hitting a roo in his Hilux or whatever, his fucking ute, and he said, and the bull bar folded back on the tire, kind of like a brake on a wheelchair. So I couldn't fucking go anywhere because the bull bar was locking my front tire like a wheelchair brake.
Yeah, wow. I never would have thought that was possible.
And just that's such a way that a comic would look at it as like a comparison to how like it describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
The other fucking, and also just the way he said it's so fucking funny. The next one was relation to a song. He goes, I used to spend a lot of time harvesting fields, a lot of time in the tractor. And I look out, I remember I said to my buddy, I was like, isn't it amazing? You just look out over the field and you think, we're here. We're alive. We're working the earth. And he said, my buddy just looked at me and said, okay. And then he starts just playing the song.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, dude, that is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because I know the sort of dude that would just not want to connect on an emotional level.
Yeah.
Like the farmer that's just sitting there like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 400 acres left and we're not here to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, anyway, it was like, I'm like yourself, I think I prefer traditional, more classic sort of like blues and country. Like, I don't really listen to country. Yeah. But if I do, it's going to be, like Johnny Cash and shit.
Yeah, so they had lots of the old style country artists, but like modern versions of them.
Right.
And then they also had like Keith Richards and Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Fuck
One
yeah.
of the best. They had when he had his 85th birthday, they had it on SBS.
Whoa.
And that was also a very similar concert.
But it's worth paying the extra for the screen, the fucking sound,
Yeah,
and everything.
exactly. And when we saw Willie Nelson, it was only 5 people in the whole cinema.
Whoa.
And you're like, this is a crazy experience.
Yeah, that's like our version of the Sphere. Like, that's as close as you can go in Canberra with having seen the experience.
Yeah.
Like that, you know?
Yeah.
I've heard stories of people going to the Sphere and thinking like, oh, I'm going to take mushrooms and like enhance the experience. Whereas it's legitimately like taking mushrooms without taking mushrooms. So then people take them and freak out.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine that.
Wow.
Like, I listened to a podcast, he's like an experienced microdoser on mushrooms, and he went to watch the Grateful Dead at the Sphere. And he bought the mushrooms with him and then just put them back in his pocket. He was like, I've done mushrooms and I don't need more experience from this.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's fucking hilarious. Like a seasoned fucking, like, you know, psychedelic tripper was just like, this is enough.
Yeah.
Sober.
Wow. Surely if you went to a Grateful Dead concert not on any drugs, that would be trippy in itself because people around you would be acting so strange.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, I'm tripping because look at everyone around me.
Yeah.
They're doing things that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas if you're on the same level as them, it seems normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a better trip if you go sober.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because, well, there's, you know, there's more sensory. Like, you're adding extra shit to it. It's not the experience, it's the people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all just one people, aren't we? One connected soul. And,
you always say that.
Yeah.
Every chance you get.
Okay. So,
imagine if you did that in your stand-up. Like every 2 minutes. Like you do a joke about something grotesque or something, you'd be like, oh, what if, you know, some such and such had foreskin?
yeah.
And then you'd be like, and I think we're all one people.
We're all one soul. Just
Every joke that
interconnected.
bombs, that's what you say.
Just at
Like,
the end.
Yeah,
It
we're
would-
all one people.
It would get to the point where it would become funny again if you did it after each one. Yeah. So the experience going out to see gigs. I also think that where would you actually? Here's a question: where would you class Slim Dusty in that scale of country music, new or old?
Neither.
Neither.
Yeah, it's like a kitsch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Australian kitsch.
Yeah, I'd say it's like an Australian version of the old.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like hip hop versus Aussie hip hop.
Yeah, but there's elements of new in that, in like the song construction.
Yeah.
Because you don't listen to it and go, oh, this is like, I guess it is old school as well. Yeah, I'm no expert, but I don't know. I'm not really into Slim Dusty.
Yeah.
Some of it, I've heard some of it and thought, oh, that's not too bad.
It's the Vegemite of Australian music.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not for everyone.
If you Googled Australian music, Slim Dusty would probably be in there.
Yeah.
But it's not, I don't think, an accurate representation. It's a bit like how we export Fosters.
Yeah.
But that's not what everyone drinks here. Like, people think of, like Slim Dusty and shit. They're like, oh, yeah, fucking, you know, out working the land, the red dirt, fucking, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that. We drink fucking bent spoke here.
Yeah.
Like, if someone goes to a bar in Europe and says, give me an Australian beer, and they get a Foster's, they'll be like, what the fuck? But then if you came here and said, can I get a beer, you get a fucking bent spoke, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I went to America, tried their beers that they drink.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy.
Didn't enjoy?
No. We had, especially their craft ones.
Yeah.
At the time, I was drinking craft beer in Australia.
Sure.
I can't really drink much craft beer at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. The flavor's too strong for me.
Right.
I reckon if you have a pause from IPAs
Yeah.
for like 6 months,
Yep.
then you go back to it. You're like, what? How did I ever drink this?
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm on the lagers again. But
Nice.
when I went to America and I was trying a lot of their craft beers, I
Yeah.
thought a lot of them were pretty bad.
Yeah.
They're very strong, and they just didn't taste like something you could drink, you know, at the beach.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is kind of what you want, even with
Good
it like
test.
Yeah, which even from an IPA, you probably want a little bit of that.
Yeah, a bit of each.
Yeah, and I mean it's only a dark beer that you'd have in winter, but it didn't fit. They wouldn't fit as either a winter beer or a summer beer.
Yeah, yeah.
They were just too strong for both.
Right. Yeah.
Not hearty enough, but too strong.
Right. Yeah, I get
Weird
it.
in between, and I didn't enjoy their beers. And I had some of their like light beers that you get at like a baseball game.
Yeah, yeah. Like
that was-
like the lights, yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
That always throws me because in Australia, light means light alcohol, not light coloured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, yeah, no, fucking have 4 of these lights. You're like, man, I'm feeling those fucking lights are kicking in.
Yeah.
I'll just grab a light, I'm driving, you fucking wounded after 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not wounded, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you actually we're chatting about that. So we're talking about music. Last time you were here, you just came back from the States.
Yeah.
And that was the primary focus of going to the States, was to like listen to music and do some cool shit over there, right?
Yes.
And drink some like beers that you didn't enjoy. Yeah.
It was an experience though.
I feel like their strengths is their like whiskeys, like bourbons and shit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's where you go for it.
Yeah, I love whiskey.
Yeah.
I've gotten really into that in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I have too many now.
Yeah, I fucking love whiskey, and I limit myself. One good thing about limiting myself is it means that I go for quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So I'll just have 2 nice fucking pours, and that'll do me.
Yeah.
It means that I'm not mentally drinking the next one while I haven't even finished this one yet. I'm 100% present in drinking this current one.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to be. I'm like that as well. I limit myself to a couple.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have too much, then you're not noticing the flavours as much, even though that sounds so pretentious.
Yeah, well,
But
we've already spoke about IPA, haven't we? So we may as well keep it going.
Yeah, but like if you have 4 or 5,
Yeah.
by the 4th or 5th, you're probably not really going like, oh, this scotch is nice.
Yeah.
You're going, fucking, I've got a fucking story to tell you, mate.
Fuck, dude. I need to get this clip up. So I invited Kai over for an episode, and we did a whiskey and cigars episode, which I've been told by listeners of the podcast directly never to do one of those again, because it's fucking, all you can hear is like sipping and fucking like smoking, which is terrible for audio.
Yeah, right.
But hey, the ASMR community's like, do all of those.
A lot of money in it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Not as much as fucking 104 is going to pay me, dude. I get like some nice whiskey. I got Lark whiskey from Tassie.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
A 500ml bottle.
Yeah.
And like I got a 500 and a 100 mil. That was like, they were both pretty much the same price, because the 100 was like a more expensive one.
Yeah.
So I pour the fucking shot into 2 whiskey glasses.
Yeah.
Kai brought over his own Jack Daniels and Coke cans pre-mixed. He takes a sip of the whiskey and goes, fucking needs Coke, and pours his Jack and Coke premix into the whiskey, and then takes a swig and goes, that's better.
That would annoy me so much.
Not Coke, Jack and Coke premix into the already good whiskey.
Yeah.
That's next level. I love that. It's kind of good that it happened, because I wouldn't be talking about it if you didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's next level fucking premix into it. People blow up when you, dude, don't put Coke in that. That's a fucking $400 bottle.
Yeah, I don't even put ice in mine.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Fucking no ice, no nothing. Just
neat.
Just the shit that I need. No, nothing else. Yeah. Now there are some, like I've had. I used to drink occasionally if I was just going to have one or whatever. Like when I was doing a lot more bar work, at the end of the shift, I would usually, once everyone's fucked off and I've locked the front doors, and it's only staff inside, might pour a whiskey then while I'm like counting the tills or some shit, and just sip at it over the course of the next hour before I fuck off.
Yeah.
Guava. It's a Scotch liqueur.
Yep.
And it's very thick. You need 1 cube of ice in that, because you want it to be a little bit distilled. Like,
yeah, right.
Let the ice melt a bit. It cools it down and also makes it less like it changes the viscosity.
Yeah.
So it's less thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a bit easier to drink because it's like syrup. So sweet.
Yeah, wow.
But that's why it's a liqueur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one, but the rest are just straight fucking neat. Yeah. When you think about it, 2 of those, same price as fucking like 10 Jamesons.
Yeah.
I get more out of 2 expensive ones, and I wake up the next day ready to fucking rock.
Yeah.
Just knocks the fucking edge off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. so you went over there, did that. Now, how's this? 2 years later,
Yeah.
I'm planning a US trip.
Wow.
So
When's that?
it's it's the start of July. I'm actually going to be there 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
in Pittsburgh.
Wow, good place to be.
Yeah, so I've already scoped out all of the activities in Pittsburgh, and by the time I've budgeted for the trip, I think I am down to one thing that I can do in my downtime, and that so the whole point of the trip is I'm going over to judge in the World Beard and Mustache competitions.
Yeah.
And because I was the company that sponsors my beard oil is hosting, they've asked me to go and judge. Now I need to pay for flights, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
And at the moment it's budget's pretty tight. So basically I'm down to one thing which will tie our whole conversation before into it. There's a really good cigar lounge in Pittsburgh.
Right.
A lot of comedians talk about it.
Yeah.
When they do there's the Pittsburgh Improv and a few other comedy clubs through there. Pittsburgh Improv apparently is owned by Steve Hofstetter.
Is that I know that guy.
The ginger guy that roasts people.
Yeah.
The crowd, the heckle destroyer or whatever. You see all the clips of him.
Yeah.
He owns that apparently.
Oh, wow.
So, which is cool because he does a podcast with Daniel Muggleton. So there's a tie there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So Daniel Muggleton was like early in this show, like 68 or something. I think he was the on this show.
Wow.
So yeah, he's another good Australian comedian. But yeah, so that's the plan. Because it's a 3-day event, the competition, and so I think if I just get one night over the course of the thing, I want to go to that cigar lounge.
Yeah.
Which isn't a thing in Australia. Cigar lounges,
Nah.
fucking don't exist.
Yeah. It'd stink in there, hey?
Well, if you don't like cigars,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. To me, it would stink.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're not into chicks, you might say the same about a fucking a strip club.
Yeah, this is
But
true.
some people might walk into a strip club and go, problems with their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? What are you getting up to in Pittsburgh?
So literally going to be there for the 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Day before and then 3-day event and then back home. It's
Wow, that is a short trip.
pretty business orientated. And it's all
Yeah.
that the budget allows for. So,
Yeah, right.
but it'll be a good indexer to see how it'll be my first international trip. It'll be good to go and check it out, get used to traveling, and then come back another time once I've got a bit more budget and see a bit more of the place.
Yeah. So first time in America?
Yeah, first time in America.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So it'd be an interesting trip.
Yeah. I reckon you'd love New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because New Orleans, party capital,
Yeah.
and so much good music and great food.
Yeah.
It just felt like, a melting pot of all of these really cool aspects of life.
Pretty much all the things, all my vices in one city.
In one city. Like you get a prawn sandwich.
Yeah.
Doesn't have in Australia you get 8 prawns in
Yeah.
a prawn sandwich or something ridiculous, probably even less than that.
Yeah.
Nah, not in New Orleans. You get like 40. It's
Really?
overflowing with prawns. They just have so many, and you only pay $15 or something.
They're just generous because that's what it is.
Yeah, they're like, well, you want to, you're eating out.
Yeah.
You got to eat a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
That's
good.
a good culture. It's a very generous culture,
Good.
in my opinion. So
I'll add it to the list. I've got a list.
That was my number one city in America, New Orleans.
Awesome. Do you have a list?
Not really.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have a list of. I have a spreadsheet
Oh.
of all of the bands and like artists that I like.
Oh yeah.
It's all on there.
Do you tick them off when you see them?
No, as in, so I never forget about an artist when I'm putting on a Spotify playlist.
Oh right.
I just feel like, I haven't listened to that band for ages. I haven't listened to The Replacements, for instance. I was listening to The Replacements this morning.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to them in years.
Right.
Looked at the spreadsheet and went, you know what, I'm going to fucking put on today.
Whoa.
The Replacements. And it was great. That's why it took so long to get here, is because I got lost and I was driving and listening to the Replacements and being like, "This is great."
Fuck.
What a tale.
Wow. I nearly had to call someone else to do the podcast and replace you.
Yeah, wow.
yeah. But you replaced the replacement.
Yes.
With the Replacements.
Yes, this is true.
No, I didn't have to do that. You know, you've got a good hour of no shows before I call someone else. You've got a fair bit of time in the backlog.
Yeah,
that's how much I care about some of my guests.
Yeah.
It's about how long you can't turn up before I look around to see who else can do it.
Yeah, right.
I think you're actually nearly at the level of reschedule.
Yeah.
If you didn't turn up, I wouldn't replace you, Nick. I would find a time that worked better for you and do it then.
That's music to my ears.
That's Replacements to my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done all the. I'll be able to talk about the trip once I get back. I'm really excited to see what it's like, and the guys there are really good. The dudes that are hosting it have got all these like cool things planned as well, which is why I haven't really planned much around it, because I know that I'll be sort of hanging out with them before and after the gigs and that sort of stuff. Either that or I'll just be fucking sitting in the room like, oh, I thought I'd be doing other stuff. But yeah, I read on the website they've got a whole list of vantage points to see the fireworks on 4th of July. Lookout points and the Pittsburgh Bridge and all the spots to go so you can see them good from there. So it'll be a fucking wild experience, not just my first time to the trip to the States, but also 4th of July weekend with a bunch of locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great time to go over. You've nailed that.
Yeah.
The World Beard Championships.
Yeah.
They've picked a great time to exist.
Yeah, in my life, Yeah. This is my 10th year since I've been clean shaven.
Wow.
So all those years ago, I planned this trip 10 years ago by not shaving and emailing them and saying, hey, I live in Australia. Is there any chance that you could give me a discount on shipping because it's so expensive to get your products to me?
Yeah.
And they said, here's a discount code where you get free shipping because we just want to help you out. And 8 years later, they're like, come and visit us and judge.
Wow.
So it's progressed.
Yeah. Do you ever trim?
Occasionally, if I've, I usually trim every 3 months. I'll just get a little bit off the sides and the length.
Yeah.
Just so that it all evens back out again.
Yeah,
But because I'm going to be going to this World Beard Mustache competition, the reason I trim is so that the sides don't grow out too much.
Yeah.
Whereas because I'm going to be on stage for this, I grow it out so then I can get mustache wax and sleek it down. So it still looks trim, but it's thicker.
Yeah, right.
It's a show thing.
Yeah.
And then when I get back, I'll it'll be coming into our summer.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, I'll get it trimmed again and get it all squared up.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's I do trim. But yeah, 10 years since I was clean shaven. There's a band that you might like. They are a joke band kind of, but the Beards. Have you heard of?
I have heard of the Beards.
Yeah,
they're good,
and they're returning after.
Are they?
They stopped after 10 years of being a band, and now they're returning this year for a run of shows.
Wow.
So, and it's probably been close to 10 years since they called it. So. I know.
Good Aussie act.
Yeah, they're great. They're actually great live too. I've seen their last ever show at A&U.
Yeah.
In Canberra. Well, it wasn't their last ever show. It was their last ever tour. The Canberra leg. And dude, they couldn't find an opening act, so they opened for themselves.
Oh.
So they came out and played a different set.
Yeah.
And then went away and changed their outfits and then came back and did their actual set. They did an unplugged jazz version of their songs to open.
That's great.
And they're all in suits, white suits, black tie and all this
yeah.
shit, and just did a jazz cover of their own songs.
Wow. I'd love to have seen that.
It was epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was epic. So yeah, they're doing an Australian tour later this year, I think. Yeah, just to like rehash it. So that's kind of cool. That's great. It's a good mix, as we're saying, between rock and they have like saxophone. Some of their songs have sax in it. The singer will just whip out a fucking saxophone and just start belting it out.
Yeah, saxophone always goes well. I don't understand. Is it Liam Gallagher who says he doesn't like saxophones in rock songs because he thinks they're creepy?
Yeah.
I think he's creepy.
I think that's just an association.
Yeah, he hears it and he thinks of
the sex scenes from movies where they're playing the sax in those 80s sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's creepy. It's because something happened to him while he heard saxophone. Now he has association.
Yeah.
It's not like that for everybody.
No, I can hear saxophone and be fine.
Yeah.
I can shrug that shit off.
I'm willing to push through it for a good sax.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'll tell you a great story about the saxophone. We, at the BASO, they have cover bands sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Like quite often they have cover bands. There's a lot of new and alternative music, but they do have cover bands there. And one of the regulars there, he plays sax. And they needed a saxophone player they had a Pink Floyd cover band.
Yeah, right.
And dude, you know the sax solo in the Brick in the Wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking the regular dude that's just usually at the end of the bar having a fucking beer or whatever, just to a crowd of people that mostly know him.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night or Friday night, fucking joints jumping, everyone's loving hearing some Pink Floyd. The dude that everyone knows and loves, that's usually just sitting there casually fucking drinking his beer, he's like I think he was a car salesman or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Just fucking gets up and starts belting out the fucking sax solo in a Pink Floyd song and nailed it.
Shit.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Fucking great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love sax, dude. Fucking
it's a great instrument. So it's so versatile.
Yeah.
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 I'd love to see them use different instruments when they do like sex scenes in movies.
Yeah.
Rather than a saxophone, why don't they do a flute?
Yeah, or a kazoo. You know, just mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. That'd be so good in some of like old 70s French films. And it's getting really erotic, and then you just hear
Cuckoo kazoo.
Yeah.
Now, I remember last year when Suma went to Raw.
Yes.
Soon after that, coincidentally, she did the podcast. Now, this year, not too dissimilar to that situation, you just came back from Raw representing Canberra on the Australian stage.
Yes.
Unplanned, I've had you on the show soon after that. How was it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was kind of surreal performing for that many people.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not used to it. And then, the gig straight after was about 20 people. Mm-hmm. So it's a comeback to earth moment. But it was a really interesting day. It starts like at 9 a.m. or something.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and you're there for ages. There's lots of prep that they do, and they run through everything. I guess it makes sense why it has to go for so long.
Yeah.
But it was a great day meeting all these people. I was sick on the day, which was really annoying, so I almost didn't perform.
Well,
because my voice was so croaky.
Yeah.
Like I could barely speak. And so I feel that, like I was very lucky that half an hour before the show, I managed to get my voice to a point where I could perform.
Right.
So that was good. It was good to perform. And it also meant that I wasn't nervous because I was too worried about my voice that I just didn't care. So I just went out and performed. It was good. And yeah, the other people who were in the final were very friendly. Yeah. It was a good cohort. They might have thought I was a little unfriendly because I was trying to rest my voice.
Right.
But it was a pretty sick experience.
Yeah.
And then they had unlimited beers after.
Fuck yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to turn that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old, the voice didn't matter then.
No.
You just wake up in the morning after singing fucking Crazy Train at the top of your voice. Some karaoke bar in Melbourne.
Yeah, it was a good night.
I don't know why I chose Crazy Train. It's just good visuals.
It's a good karaoke song. You start off with Crazy Train, then you do Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And then maybe you finish it off with Neil Young.
Yeah.
You show all aspects of your
have some Johnny Cash in there.
Voice versatility. Yeah, I could have done Johnny Cash very well that day.
Yeah. I remember. Do you remember the Fallout games had ink spots at the start? I don't want to set the world on fire.
I've never played Fallout.
Okay, I haven't played it much, but the intro, the song associated with that series, they used it a lot for the credits and like the intro of the game, the cutscenes, all that sort of shit. Yeah. Is a song by the band Ink Spots from like the 20s called "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire."
Yeah, right.
And I remember playing that game when I was in high school, and my nan, who was born in 1923, came from the other end of the house to see where that song from her childhood was coming from.
Shit, that's a great moment. Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I remember this song from my childhood." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, now they're using it to try and depict like a world gone by."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, that's, finally some good music."
Yeah, that's good from your grandma.
Yeah, she was tough as. She would like watch me play Fallout. She'd be like, "There's a guy over there, get him." Like she'd be like it's a shooter game.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Watch that guy there with the hammer." Like she'd be like pointing people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so you had unlimited beers after, which is always good.
Yeah, and garlic bread.
Oh, yeah.
You can imagine my breath the next morning.
The comedy garlic.
Crazy.
The comedy garlic.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fire breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I got to see some other shows while I was
there. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What other gigs did you get to?
The best two I saw, Nick Capper and Dan Rath.
Oh, right. Good.
They were... Yeah.
Big rooms? What sort of setup?
Nick Capper was in a decent room.
Yeah.
And Dan Rath's room was huge and full.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Capper sold well as well, but
yeah.
Dan Rath really had a huge room. Very impressive, considering he doesn't do TV.
Right.
I like seeing a lot of those like really big comedians, or like comedians I think are really good, because then you're like, oh, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
And I'm so far away. Like, this person just handles every situation perfectly. And every joke is killing.
Yeah.
And it's so well constructed and it's relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Awesome.
But also, I like the fact that those, like, the really good acts, I can switch off. And then I'm not analysing it. Because I find that with some acts I watch now, and then I'm going, oh, how'd they do that? Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't do that. Or, well, I wonder how they thought of that.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas the really good acts you can just watch and enjoy.
Yeah, you think there's so much distance between you and them that you can like have a level of disconnect from.
Yeah.
You can watch it as an audience member, not as a comedian.
Yeah, you're like, there's stages that I'll have to go through before I'm even analysing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. What was the crowd size for the Raw final?
I don't know. It wasn't full, but full's 2,000.
Yeah, okay.
So probably more than 1,000.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, 1,200 would be my guess.
Sure.
Decent.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And how
get that at a Smith's.
Yeah, fuck, maybe. Like percentage-wise, probably.
Yeah.
Like I could see, in like 30 out of 50 seats sold.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Possible.
I'd take that.
Like as a percentage, it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for the basso because it's like 200. So to hit that at like 130 is quite a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yep. For an open mic on a Tuesday, slightly different.
No, we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, we have slightly less budget and promotion as Raw comedy, but...
Yeah.
As long as people know that we've got you on the bill, it might help, To be fair, like, the open mic scene in Canberra, it goes in waves. I've seen it over the last 8 years, and it goes in waves, comes and goes.
Yeah.
Even just from the start of this year, so many people were prepping for Raw, right?
Yeah.
And now that they have not got into Raw, where are they now? A lot of people just disappear. Like, in my opinion, someone should do comedy if they are committed enough to do comedy and want to perform in Raw. If they don't get it, they should still be doing it. It goes to show how committed they are if Raw was the thing that ended their comedy career.
Yeah, they're committed to success. They don't have something to say.
Yeah.
I think that's something as well, like a big part of my comedy philosophy, I guess, is that you've got to have something to say that isn't just I'm a comedian and like the standard jokes that go with that. Like, what's your viewpoint? What do you like as a person? Because that's what's going to sell, and that's what people are drawn to. And it's also more fun to do it that way rather than be like, well, I think this is what they want.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
You gotta live. You gotta be authentic to an extent.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people can be too authentic when they're going on stage and saying very intimate details about their life or their character flaws, and you're like, this is not working.
Yeah.
But I think there's an element of authenticity that is required, and you can't do that if all you do is comedy and comedy related things. You have to do other things so you can have other perspectives. Yeah, like I make my own ice cream.
Yeah.
It's great. And one day I'll do a routine on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not making my own ice cream so I can have a routine on it. I'm doing it because I enjoy it and I find it like meditative. But it's good to be it's good to be a diverse person in terms of like diverse interests.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think that sometimes things that aren't directly linked to comedy can help with your comedy.
Yeah.
For example, if I enjoy, listening to music, I'm not going to hear a song and then write a joke about it. But because I'm doing something I enjoy, it'll help free up my imagination. So then when I do come across a situation that I could write a joke about, I'm not thinking about other shit. I'm present and thinking about that moment. And then, there's a bit that I could write about it. Whereas if I'm off thinking about like other shit, like, did I pay the power bill? Whatever. A piece of material might be sitting right in front of me. Yeah. And I don't notice it because I'm off mentally somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's just grounding myself and listening to music for like 10 minutes, a new song that someone sent me. Instead of just like playing it in my headphones while I'm trying to focus on something else and I don't fully hear the song, I like to like go, okay, I'll put that in a playlist.
Yeah. And
then I'll sit there and actually listen to it. Someone described music to me years ago. No, it wasn't described to me by someone. It was a description of an album that someone wrote, like a review.
Yeah.
And they said, this album paints portraits for the blind.
Wow. That's quite emotive.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like, it's the audio version of an image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that Taylor Swift, Shake It Off?
No, it was Take It Off, the cover by Weird Al Yankovic. Fuck. So I've got one bit to close this up. We've just about clicked over an hour, dude.
Nice.
How good is that?
That's a good innings.
This has gotten most people from Canberra to and from work. Their half an hour commute. But not while at work because they wanted to focus.
Yeah.
But we're going to close it up with something that ties this all together. Now, I spoke about my trip to the US.
Yep.
Now, for that trip, I did a comedy fundraiser event at King O'Malley's.
Yeah.
Now, for that comedy fundraiser event, I had low-budget lineup, 2 Canberra comedians plus me.
Yeah.
King O'Malley's helped out, and they said anyone that buys a ticket gets a free drink. Tickets were $20.
Yeah.
So your overhead's pretty good, and they donated that drink. Pretty fucking good, right?
Yeah.
So for $20, you were getting 3 comedians, 20 minutes each, plus a free drink on a Thursday night. Where can you go fucking wrong?
Yeah.
The advantage of that was because there was hardly any overheads, basically just needed to sell 15 tickets, and I was like, you know, at least going to have some funds from the thing. Now, unfortunately, what happened was I spent money in paid advertising online. I still paid the comedians, you know, because that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, sorry, mate, I can't afford to pay you, so you don't get paid for your art. You actually fucking pay it.
Yeah.
But when I organise a gig, I commit to pay the comedians whether or not I sell tickets. Now,
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
well, it's the way to continue doing it.
Yeah.
You can do it that way once, but then no cunt will fucking do your room if you don't pay them. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather not do it because I don't have money. I wouldn't rather not do it because no one wants to work for me because I don't pay people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather be broke and have morals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to stay true to your values.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, timing, whatever, I don't fucking know. Literally, nobody turned up to the fundraiser event.
Oh, damn.
So I sold 0 tickets, 0 walk-ups. Our buddy, Bruce,
Yeah.
turned up
Wow.
and was going to buy a ticket at the door
Yeah.
and was the only audience member. So I said, look, Bruce, don't worry about it. So he just sat there. We got a couple of clips, like we just did a couple of new bits in front of each other just to try out new material, and then we called it a fucking night.
Nice.
Now, very luckily, the owner at King O'Malley's just said, just send me an invoice for the cost so you're not out of pocket. So it didn't actually cost me money, which is
That's
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Massive
Very nice
shout
of
out
him.
to them for
Yeah.
organising that. Now, the reason I tell you this whole story is because there was one really good bit of material that came out of that entire night. What had happened was I paid for a sponsored post. Now, I did have one interaction with that post. Someone actually commented on it.
Yeah, wow.
And when you see a comment on a post, you're like, oh, good. Like, I haven't sold any tickets. Maybe someone's chatting. I got this comment on the post. And what I'm going to do is I'll pull it up on the screen here and you can read it out for us.
I eagerly await it.
All right, so I've got it there on the screen. Nick, can you just read out that first comment but on the sponsored post?
Yeah. Why should everyone else pay for this fuckwit to go on holiday?
So that's, I mean, when it's all said and done, at least I got one bit of comedy out of the whole thing because that is the gift that keeps on giving. I cannot possibly write that. Now, in defense, what did someone that I don't know, as you can see, I'm not friends with them because it says add friend next to the name.
Yeah, wow.
What was their response back to?
Because people like him, I suppose. Probably a foreign concept to you.
Hey.
Yay.
So
You got a defender.
fucking an unfriended defender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even someone that's in it for their friend. We're not friends on Facebook, just fucking standing up.
Yeah. That's great.
Standing up for the stand-up. But yeah, anyway, I just thought that was funny. So at least it wasn't a total loss. I did get something out of it.
Yeah, you got that out of it.
Which is that little fucking bit of content.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks heaps for being on the show, Nick.
No worries.
Glad to have you
Be
back.
here.
And I'm excited to tell you all about the trip to America.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it.
Do you have any gigs coming up or social media you want to plug?
Yeah, doing a gig in Tumut.
Yeah.
On the 14th of June.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, come along. I think it's at the Tumut Brewery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you listen to this podcast, you already know me. But you can see all my stuff at markycomedy.com. Cheers, and thanks for
Buy
listening.
me a drink.
Just name names.
Yeah, right. Big Tony. Look at fucking throwing out a strip club with your floppy disk.
Man, you got a big beard, dude.
Shame for shit all day.
Me and my best friend, Marky Worthington.
Keep it simple. Count your money.
That they're not proud of.
Just give me $10.
Hey, right?
Click.
Did you hang up?
No, I just said click.